Hello, my friend, and welcome. This is your moment. I'm Katarina Miletic, and you are listening to the podcast that will challenge you to think with your soul and believe that your only power is inside you. Hi, Natalia.
Hello, Katarina.
It is a true honor for me to have you here, because when it comes to people who are the world's biggest secrets and biggest talents out there, I think that we seldom meet people who are like you, just pure soul, a person who likes to help and inspire other people. And you're also a storyteller, Natalia. And we have been talking on this podcast. Incidentally, since beginning of this year, storytelling has been a thread that is weaved through every single episode of this podcast and connected every single guest. Right? We started with Pat Quinn, and I'm sure that you know well aware who Pat Quinn is. But his and your method of teaching are quite different. And I have a tremendous privilege to be coached by you, not only in storytelling, but in life, because to me, life and business are all one big mission, right? So the principles that we apply in our business are applicable in our life. So I want you to, if you will, to start with sharing your passion with us, sharing where did that seed first start to grow inside you?
Thank you, Katarina. It is my pleasure to be here, and I am blessed to have met you, because I've always been looking for people like you that have such a high mission, and I'm not afraid of sharing it. Sometimes we feel alone when we have this big purpose, this big spiritual purpose, and we are afraid of sharing it. So by sharing your stories, you're letting the world know what you do and how bright you shine, and you're giving hope to other people because you're helping people through art. And I think that your mission is just amazing. So it is my honor to be here with you today. And it is my absolute incredible honor to help you craft your stories. I just can't believe it. So, well, I help mission-driven entrepreneurs extract, craft, and tell stories to inspire, to teach, to sell, so that you can stand out from the crowd and the noise in social media, increase your authority in your expertise, and charge your worth for your genius. And we do this through the power of stories, because no one likes to be lectured. People love hearing stories. So I love what I do. I love extracting these stories. I love making people feel that they do have a story, that they do have something to share that is meaningful for others.
That is so beautiful. and you do it in such a way that is inspired, it is different. And even though it's precisely structured, you don't feel that you are being schooled. You feel like you are a child playing in the woods, enjoying yourself, exploring life, and discovering these gifts inside you. And as you reconnect with every story that you have lived, you reconnect with every single part of you. And as I said, I mean, it's an absolute privilege, not just for me, but for the small circle that you teach. We are such a group that is inspired and led by you. That it's just incredible. I have to absolutely recommend you and your course and your group and your mission to anyone who is thinking of leading other people, of inspiring other people, of teaching, coaching in any way, shape, or form. We have learned that we need to share our personal stories, right? We are not an institution. So how do you approach this with small business owners, with people who are just at the beginning of their journey? Why don't you tell us how you extract these stories from them?
Okay. Of course, there is a process to extract your stories, and sometimes you have to go back to those moments that made the most impact in your life. And if I go back, I can go back to that moment when I was only 8 years old, and I was in that room with my 4th grade teacher in front of me. I was sitting on the 2nd row next to the wall, and I raised my shaky hand because I dared to ask a question, because I didn't understand, Katerina. I didn't understand what the teacher was trying to teach. And the teacher looked at me and she said, "I've already explained this. How come you don't get it?" And you see, those words are still in my mind. Those words made the most impact in my life. Because when I'm struggling, I always remember those words. How come I don't get it? Because I'm not good enough. I'm not clever enough. You see, at that moment, I didn't know that I had dyslexia, because 38 years ago, no one talked about dyslexia. And I couldn't understand the things as others did. And also I had this weird type of dyslexia. When I spoke, even the words I said, the letters would come jumbled up. So I would say something silly. And so I decided just to keep quiet, lest I would, sound like dumb and prove that I was dumb. And that made my life really difficult to communicate with others. And I really wanted to communicate because I had this wish to help others. And no one had told me that if you don't have the words, there is something that speaks louder than words. And when I was 10, just 2 years later, I discovered drama. And there, I didn't have to use my words. I used some techniques where I experienced, where I used my body, and through all of these techniques, I started to express myself through my body. And there I found my voice. Little by little, I could communicate myself, express myself. And I spent the last 28 years as a stage actress communicating with words. I spent the last 28 years as a TV host, as a teacher, teaching through story, using body expression and performed oral storytelling to empower my students, to make them see and get what they want to get, to change education and to help people find their voice when they don't have the words. So if I look back at that moment where the teacher said, "How come you don't get it?" It's because I need you to tell me a story. I need you to let me experience it so that I get it. So that's why now I became a storyteller that empowers others through the power of storytelling. I found my voice through drama and through oral performed storytelling, and I want to give a voice to those that want to do good in the world through the power of storytelling. So you see, that is a way to find and extract your stories. Those moments in time in your life where you struggle, those moments of void in your life that actually challenged you to give you an opportunity. Because I'm the least expected person to become a storyteller, because I'm shy, I'm introvert, and I'm quite a hermit. I like to be on my own in nature. But I knew at the time how important it was to have a voice. Because there, when I was raising my hand in that classroom, I did not have a voice. And what this teacher said really impacted all of my life. So now I create environments so that people can have a voice. Because the first thing you feel when you start extracting your stories, there's a process that we go through that Katarina was asking me to share. But the first thing that you're going to feel is that you feel empowered. You start respecting yourself. You start feeling happy for what you had to go through, because those voids and those experiences helped you and shaped the person that you are now. You start feeling empowered because whatever struggle you went through is now an opportunity and inspiration to help inspire others and teach others.
Amazing. Amazing how every experience in our life connects us with a deeper purpose and with meaning. Certainly for people who have this desire inside themselves to serve others, we need to show up in our authenticity. And what better way to present ourselves than to share a personal story from our experience? And of course, we often inclined to share our whole life story, which can be counterproductive. So through narrowing down just the points of your story, you attract people who actually resonate with your message, who you can help and who can be trained by you, coached by you, right? Because we can't all, even though we have this wish to help everyone, we can't all help everyone, right? We are called to serve certain people in life. I mean, it's such a journey to be on. And you mentioned there how the obstacles often are our biggest blessings. Are there some obstacles that you can share with us besides the story from your beginning? Because sometimes people think that, aha, that was the moment, and from this point on, the road is clear. But it never is it?
Yeah, I really like what you said, Katarina, like finding that scene, that one moment, because you said sometimes, yes, we want to share a personal story and we share our whole life story, and we end up confusing or boring people. That's what usually happens. And I'd like to connect it with what you do, Katarina, as an artist, as a painter. When you want to share a painting, you don't share 1,000 scenes and all of the paintings that you would want to share in one painting. You choose one scene, right? You choose that landscape, that flower, one scene that will tell a whole story, right? And that one scene is what we remember. And it's the same with oral storytelling. With oral storytelling, we do one scene at a time. You see, when I share with you my story, I share with you that moment when I was in that classroom, so in the second row next to the wall, and I raised my hand. There I shared my struggle. And you know what? I can come back to that scene and share with you my success within that scene, my struggle, my aha, and my success. Because in that same scene, in that same moment, after I heard those words that really affected my mind all of my life, how come you don't get it? I also had a voice inside me that said, inside me, I didn't speak them, but I felt them and I remember them. I remember looking at her. I said, one day I'll show you there is another way to teach. And now I found it. The way to teach is through stories. You see, it's just that one scene, so that I'm bringing you a painting, I'm bringing you a picture, which is that scene, me as a fourth grader, only 8, sitting on the second row with the wall next to me, raising my hand. And you got the whole story there, my struggle, and then my success, because I knew it within myself. I will get there. I will show you that there's another way to teach. We do it one scene at a time so that people then can remember it. How can we remember one of your paintings? Which one is your favorite painting? You will say, oh, the one with the blue flowers, right? Is one painting. So which one is your favorite story from Natalia? Oh, the one on the second row, the one of you raising your hand. So it's very, very clear. It's that scene, and it needs to show your before and your after.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. I mean, that is so useful to know, even to connect with people, right? Even if your intention isn't selling or isn't selling initially, because it never is. We don't just meet people and present them with our, catalog of things that we have on offer. Usually we need to build a relationship. And most of us as entrepreneurs, that is how we go through life, building friendships and relationships, supporting one another's journey, and connecting through this storytelling. It's just a beautiful way, isn't it?
It is a beautiful way. And what I'd like to say is that we tend to connect something negative to the word selling. And actually selling is beautiful because really, honestly,
yes.
we are selling all the time. Like even me now saying to you that selling is not negative and is positive, it's me selling you this idea with my enthusiasm. So by me in not saying, oh, I got a course for you to sell, I'm just telling you that selling is great because how come I didn't get it when that teacher explained it and I didn't get it? It's because she didn't sell it to me. How do you sell? You first connect, as you said, you build rapport and you share your vulnerable aspects in your life and how come you understood a certain thing. So I can't remember what she was trying to teach me. Maybe something related to grammar, maybe something related to maths. And I needed to know that she also struggled like I did, at least in one point, not just like me because we're all different, but at least in one point, and how she managed to understand that, what was her aha moment, and now how she figured it out, so that then now I feel inspired and I want to learn it. I want to learn it because now I feel like, oh yeah, she's like me, and she knows that I'm struggling, and now she's achieved success because she found the formula. So your story sells.
Yes.
There's this thing, facts tell. Story sells. Just by sharing your story, you are selling an idea, a hope, a new strategy, a new way of being, a new way of seeing the world. You buy into someone's story. The story is the first thing that you need to work on to grow your business. with your story, by sharing your story, people will feel that you understand them. You will develop the KLT, the know, like, and trust. They will trust you. They will feel that you are your friend.
Yes.
Right? That you are their friend. And you will start attracting your audience, building your audience. And then through your story, they are sold already. And I'm sharing this through my own personal experience.
Mm-hmm.
In my coaching business, when I get into my sales calls, I don't need to sell there anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Because they've already bought into my story.
Yes.
They already know that I struggled with speaking. They already feel that I understand them. I don't need to pitch them, right? So it's when you work with storytelling and you share your stories, then everything else becomes so easy. Yes. All of the rest in your business you can delegate. No one is going to tell your story for you. So this is the most fundamental skill that you need to develop to become a good storyteller.
Absolutely. It's an essential skill to have, because every single relationship comes from the ability to be authentically who you are, to be comfortable to share it. And when you do, and when you offer something as brilliant as you do, Natalia, it becomes such a natural way to connect with you, as you do connect with all of your students. Let's call them students, not clients. Maybe it's a nicer word, because you are an inspirational teacher. It far goes beyond what you are just teaching. It's care, it's caring, it's service. That is the word I was looking for.
Service. Yes, Katerina. And there is something that comes to mind at this moment, and is because I worked with children, I've been blessed to work with children. Blessed. I just love it that I had that experience, and I worked with children, primary school children, for 7 years. They inspired me so much, and I managed to see, to learn so much about our behavior as adults by looking at children. Now, when I see adults now, I see them as those children. When I work with children, I was amazed at the fact that they only needed one word of encouragement, and they will go do it and stand and share the story, because I always taught through story. You know, this the way that works with me to learn. So this is the method that I used, right? I teach, I taught in the past children, adults, and then trained teachers with a method of teaching through story. And I noticed that children have this capacity of stepping into any challenge when they hear one word of encouragement, when they know that there's one person that trusts and sees through their challenges and knows that there's more in them. That is what is lacking in teaching, that is what is lacking in different environments. Knowing that there's someone that can see through you. And what I noticed in the children that had the worst learning difficulties, that were not expressing themselves, that were introverts, shy, but also had dyslexia and different learning disabilities, were the ones that could tell the most powerful stories. Because if you are an introvert and you've been quiet for many, many years, when you finally find that someone trusts you and that you have something within you, all of those things that you had inside you, that you were not speaking out before, boom, suddenly come out in the most incredible and powerful way when you are in this environment. So that's what I love doing. I love creating environments for growth. I love spotting other people's talents, spotting other people's stories, listening, being a good listener so that they can share their voice, have a voice and share their stories.
Beautiful, Natalia. That is so lovely. And you do inspire and give voice to everyone that comes within your community feels encouraged and seen. And I think it transpires just inspiring children with this. I think it works on grown-ups too. Just don't tell them I told you.
Yes, because we all have a child inside ourselves, and I am very childish. I learned so much from children that now I apply it myself. When I feel nervous, when I'm stuck, I just play, right? I just come and move and just see it as a game. I just see it as a game. When you see it as a game, then you flow, because we are all playing a game. And actually, Katarina, let me share this vulnerable aspect of me going through this high ticket program that you are included in. Before I launched my high ticket program, which is Captivate, it's a 3-month program to help you extract like 30 personal stories and then create your speech, your signature speech, and be able to sell your coaching business. I was not feeling confident just before I launched it. I was before I pitched it, I was feeling, oh my goodness, they're gonna realize that I'm not good enough, that I don't know how to do this, the imposter syndrome, right? And I was, all my fears came into my head. Like, I'm not good with the technical aspects. How am I going to do this? I used to do it in person, and now they're going to realize. And I was sitting there. It was the evening with the stars, a beautiful setting, and I was with all of these worries. And I was not seeing the beauty that was around me. I was sitting by the beach in the evening, all worried, and I was meant to pitch this the following day. And suddenly, I took awareness of what was happening. My story inside my head and the beautiful surroundings. It didn't match. And I said, forget it. I don't want to live like this with a story in my head bothering me. Let's play with this. I'm just going to play with it. Let's just do it. Let's go and pitch it and play with it, because I love what I do. So that was my technique. And I played with it, and I'm still playing with it. And I'm still going to be playing with it for the rest of my life, because this child that I have inside me will always be alive. This is the child that moves me. That's why I'm thankful for my little beautiful students for the rest of my life.
Yes.
They taught me this. Just play with it.
It's beautiful. Beautiful. And I love that you mentioned that as well, because as an artist, I know that without your inner child coming out and being allowed to play with you, you can't create to the best of your ability. You just don't have access to all of your gifts and talents and all of the inspiration that can actually flow through you, like when you allow yourself to play. And I think, Natalia, life is too short and we don't play enough. If we can draw any lesson from last year, I think we ought to draw a lesson that we shouldn't take any moment for granted. We should live fully in every single day, engage with play, follow your impulse inside you, right? Your heart will guide you. For Natalia, play is inspiring others through storytelling, giving them voice, right? For me, is helping people see that they are artists inside themselves, right? Because you would be amazed at how many people I meet and they tell me, oh, I'm not creative type, you know.
Oh,
Right?
just give them to us.
Yes.
We'll let them see who they are. Yeah, I love it when people come with those limitations, because
Yes.
then it's like, oh, what comes out is so amazing. Isn't it
Yes.
beautiful to see their aha moment?
Yes.
You get to see it in your clients through
Yes,
art.
you help them, reach this part of themselves that they have forgotten, right? They had connection with the inner child. And maybe because I was blessed to work with I wasn't working with children, although I really have a strong bond and love children, because they're so honest, right? They tell you straight. That is like, I just love little children. But I worked with the people who have dementia and Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
And they're not able to, place themselves in a time frame, but they are very capable of making emotional bonds. And they are totally not capable and not interested in pretending, right? They're just having fun.
Yes.
That's it. So you see, that's who inspired
straightforward people. We see them as, oh, they have a problem, but maybe it's that they see more clearly and they don't share the BS, the bulls, right? They're just straightforward.
Yes.
Yeah.
In fact, they often felt sorry for the staff and were comforting, people who were supposed to be looking after them. And they would say, cheer up, love, it's not the end of the world. So
and what if that is inspiration for our stories? Just be straightforward. People love it when you are clear to the point and share your vulnerability, just like a child. Or, well, with your experience working with people with dementia, what was it that you loved from them? Use it. Yes. And I feel that is precisely that, being straightforward, being honest, being transparent. That's how you will stand out and shine.
Yes. And not forgetting sense of humor, because humor can carry you through life's difficult moments, and maybe one or two of those oops moments, that we show up imperfectly in the world, but that just makes you more likable, in my opinion. Perfection is overrated. It's even unattainable. I think that our perfection is our imperfection. It's our authenticity.
Yeah, my drama mentor, he's a mile away from me because I'm in the UK and he's in Argentina, and he's an incredible drama mentor and playwright, and he still mentors me from the distance. And I remember that once I shared a very vulnerable moment with him. And I, thinking about, you see what I shared at the beginning, always thinking, oh, I don't get it, I'm not good enough. That story that was wired in my head since I'm 8. And oh, I don't know how to tell my story. It was a very vulnerable story. It's not perfect. You just shared about perfection, imperfection. And he stopped me and said, whoa, Natalia, if it's perfect, why bother telling it? Silence. For me, it was boom. He didn't say anything else. He just let me digest that. If it's perfect, why bother telling it? Oh yeah, if it's perfect, it's boring. It's boring. And you see, just like now, this interaction that we are having, it's absolutely imperfect. I had no idea what story I was going to share today or what I was going to talk about. Of course, storytelling, right? To empower, to give a voice to people that have a mission and want to do good in the world. But whatever comes through the conversation will spring a story that will be imperfect. imperfect, and it's perfect that it's imperfect because it's what you feel in the moment and what springs from the conversation. If I had a script and it was perfect like a robot, you would not like this video. You would switch off.
Yes, yes. Therefore, we didn't have any questions. We decided to go with the flow, and I enjoy sharing these authentic conversations on this platform. I am in awe of you and of everything that you do. I know how helpful you are to everyone who is working with you. And I'm going to make sure we put all the links in the description so that people who feel inspired and called can come and check out your bigger group, maybe, where you have free coaching every week. And then if they're interested to be coached by you, which I, again, cannot recommend enough, then they will have the opportunity in not so distant future, no? In July?
July the 4th, Independence Day, the next Captivate. Yes, so you're all welcome, absolutely welcome to join the Strategic Storytelling Skills for High Ticket Sales. It's a Facebook group. It's a Facebook group, and it's beautiful because you join a group and a movement of people with a mission, especially mission-driven entrepreneurs. So the mindset of all the members is beautiful. It's a mindset of growth, a community of people that are humble and willing to share and help others. And so in that group, you will get free teaching of storytelling by me every single week. Every Monday is 5 p.m. UK time, which is 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And you can jump in the Zoom call as well, or watch the Facebook Live. And if you jump in the Zoom call, I can give you feedback on your story, and you can practice and you can play with it and just enjoy acquiring this skill that is the most fundamental skill. And as you shared, Katarina, just a few minutes ago, when you shared 2020, okay, what do we feel when we say 2020 and the virus and all of the challenges we went through? I can share with you that on 2020, I lost everything. Everything. My house, my family, all of my life savings. But you know what? When I lost everything, I had nothing to lose because I had my voice and I had my story. And just with one story that I shared in social media, in Facebook only, I managed to get all of what I lost. I managed to start, grow, and scale my online business with just one story. And this is true. And it was a story that was not even about my business. It was a story about how I lost my teeth and got them back through the power of absolute certainty. Just a story to inspire. You have no idea the power of storytelling, how people feel drawn to you when they hear a story. So do hone and train this skill. Start telling stories to your family, to your friends, to your clients. Start extracting those stories that showcase something that you learned, a value, a principle that you have learned, how it was before, your aha and the after, so that you can get this story bank that we do inside our program Captivate. But you can do it. You can start doing it now, no matter who you choose to be trained with to gain the skill of storytelling. Start training it now. Start working on it now, because it can improve everything, not only for selling, but it can improve your relationships with your children, with your wife, with your friends.
Absolutely. It really does improve everything, and it's not just for, as you said, it's not just for business owners, it's for teachers, it's for people who wish to inspire other people, who want to connect with other people. This world needs you, and this is a fun way. I wish that every school taught in this way, that they thought of telling a story, because we would have remembered so many more important lessons in life had they been told to us through a story.
Yes, and we will, my mission is to change education so that we teach through story. And it's nothing new. It is the most ancient tool.
Right.
Printing press came much later. We always learn through storytelling. So this is nothing new. So we will change education. And what I'm doing now is, as I expanded my mission, is to empower those who are breaking the chains in people's minds, who are entrepreneurs, mission-driven entrepreneurs. So I'm giving you a voice. And what we're going to do with this is a movement of inspiring, teaching, selling through story. And it's going to happen.
Absolutely. I believe so too. Not believe, but we are certain that it will. It's absolutely a new dawn. I think it's a perfect way to wrap up this conversation, Natalia. Thank you for being such a good sport. You have given us so much value in this one conversation. I would encourage everyone to really listen to this and start having more fun. Be more childlike in life. Enjoy life more. Just feel it through you. And thank you so much, Natalia. It's just been such a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you, Katerina. Let's share more stories.